Hi, I'm April. I'm a singer-songwriter and music teacher, and today I'm going to teach you how to write the first line of your song. So lately I've been going through a lot of the music that I like to listen to, and I've specifically been really focused in on how they start. Specifically, how the first line of the lyrics informs the rest of the song. And in doing that, I've actually come up with a bunch of common themes, so I figured I would share them with you. Number 1, describing the scene. This could be any part of the scene from like the sky to the season or even what the character looks like. I actually heard a really great example of this recently in one of my voice lessons. I've been working with one of my students on the song Soon You'll Get Better by Taylor Swift, and her opening lyric is so gorgeous. I kind of stopped in my tracks. The buttons of my coat were tangled in my hair. In doctor's office lighting, I didn't tell you I was scared. I found this lyric really compelling because it's super descriptive right off the bat. First of all, I love that image of buttons being tangled in someone's hair. It's really visceral and it's really relatable. But then when we find out that we're in a doctor's office, it starts to make a little more sense as far as the overall emotion. We know that we're feeling anxious, which is why the buttons in the hair make a lot of sense in the given narrative. If you decide to start your song with scene description, the best way to go about it is to find a visual image or a sense-driven image that relates to the emotion of your song. Buttons being tangled in hair, for instance, would be a terrible indication of a song about happiness and joy. Number 2, dialogue. The most important thing about dialogue is that we want to know who is speaking and to whom. If someone just says something out of the blue, it has to be something that's really descriptive, and it should tell us a lot about our character. Actually, I think this is the best way to start a song that's really character-driven. Come over to the window, my little darling. I'd like to try to read your palm. Leonard Cohen is one of my absolute favorite songwriters, like, ever. And the reason for that is because he's really good at descriptive writing, and specifically character-driven writing. What he does in So Long, Marianne that I think is really clever is that he gives us one tiny little piece of dialogue to give us the scene. We know that we're in a room with a window, we know that our main character is speaking to someone else, and we know that he wants to read someone's palm. So that right there gives us a ton of context, and it sets us up to understand both that character and the other character in the lines to come. The most important thing is that we're not left wondering who said something and why they said it. The dialogue itself was really self-explanatory, and it was compelling, it was interesting. Somebody wanting to read someone else's palm isn't something that you'd necessarily hear every day. You want to know more. So if you want to write a song that uses dialogue, make sure it's really compelling dialogue that says something really specific. And in your first verse, make sure that you elaborate on who your characters are and where your characters are. Number 3, ask a question. Why do you build me up, buttercup baby, just to let me down and mess me around? The best thing about starting a song on a question is that you can spend the rest of the song trying to unpack it. Why do you build me up, baby? From that moment, we have a really clear theme, and we know what we're going to be exploring throughout the rest of the song. This is also a really good opportunity for you as the writer to get the chance to explore your own feelings about something. Number 4, plant a question. So here you're not actually asking a question. Instead, you're giving your listener a small amount of information up front that they can then unpack themselves. Essentially, you're creating a mystery for them that they're trying to solve. I got some bad news this morning, which in turn made my day. That lyric comes from Gnarls Barkley's Who's Gonna Save My Soul Now? And from the title, we can already guess that this is gonna be a sad breakup song. But what's so great about it is that this first lyric starts us off with, I've got some bad news, but it made my day. So right off the bat, we have a lot of questions. And we as the listener get to kind of learn more as the song goes on. So we can try to figure out what the bad news is and how it made his day. If you decide to go this route with your writing, make sure that it is a mystery that your listener is going to be excited to solve. And you can subsequently leave hints and pieces along the way, or you can just give everything up in the first verse. But you also want to make sure that you're able to carry them through. Number 5, tell a very short story. The first time I tasted somebody else's spit, I had a coughing fit. That lyric is from the Lucy Dacus song Night Shift. And what I love about it is that it delivers a punch right from the get-go. The first time she kissed someone else, she had a coughing fit. Right off the bat, we've unpacked a lot of information. It seems like our character was with someone for a really long time and is now trying to kind of get over that relationship, but things don't seem to be going very well. From the very first line, we know so much about our story and our characters that it's like we've just been dropped off in the middle of the world. We already know the important things about the backstory without actually having to do much listening, which is great because it means that right off the bat, we're already deep into this song and we're gonna keep listening. The best way to do this is to come up with a backstory for your character, or just use your own life, but find a way to take your backstory and just crunch it down into something really tiny. See how much backstory you can fit into one sentence, and do your best to get rid of all of the less important detail in favor of the stuff that really matters. Number 6, describe how you feel. This is a great opportunity to either just lay your point out on the line, or create a metaphor that can carry on through the rest of the song. It's like forgetting the words to your favorite song. In this example, Regina Spektor starts off her song by just diving into a feeling. And it's a feeling that I think we can all relate to. Having something that felt really familiar once feel kind of forgotten now. She uses the metaphor of a favorite song that you've since forgotten the words to. And this emotion and metaphor carries us through the rest of the song. Now, of course, not every song is going to be a sad song. So if you're feeling really happy, start your song off with, I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Or another metaphor that feels really happy and exciting to you. Number 7, subvert the expectation. The book of love is long and boring. No one can lift the damn thing. That line comes from a Magnetic Fields song called The Book of Love. And what I love about it is that when you hear the title, The Book of Love, it feels very purple prosy. And it kind of sounds like we're going to get a song that's like about love being what conquers all, or something else that feels very flowery. But what I love is that he totally turns that on its head and just says, it's long and boring. Nobody wants to read it. Which really piques our interest because we're really curious then about how he's going to talk about and think about love throughout the rest of the song. Another great example of subverted expectation is in Lizzo's Juice, when she starts it with, mirror, mirror on the wall, and so you expect to hear something about, am I the most beautiful maiden of them all? But instead she says, don't say it because I know I'm cute. If you decide to go down this road, you can use your title to play with expectations. You can also come up with different concepts that might feel out of the box or different from what's expected. This is exactly the time to play around with prosody and do something that's a little unexpected and different. Finally, number 8 is just say your main idea. Whatever your song is about, just lay it on the table. I keep on falling in and out of love with you. I kind of couldn't help myself. And with all that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like. Let me know in the comments, subscribe, and make sure you ring that little bell so that you get notified the next time I post.